Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Ya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jainati Lila Pravishtum Vishnupar Paramahansa Parivar Jagarachavya Ashtotar Sata Shishimar His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Goswami Shilvupari Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadhara Shiva Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Chandra Doya Mandir Ki Jai Shri Parama Karuna Shri Gaura Nitai Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Shri Ganga Devi Yamuna Devi Ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Śrimad Bhāgavatam Puran Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tararajastamo Bhava Kamaralo Badayasya Chetaye Tirana Vidhangsitam Satve Prasiddhati Evam Prashana Manasa Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate Jayatam Suratopango Mamamanda Matir Gati Matsarvashva Parambujo Sri Radha Madana Mohana Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratna Garasninghasanasta Srimad Sila Radha Govinda Deva Preshnale Sevya Manos Marami Sri Sri Manrasarasarambi Vangsi Vatatatastitaha Karshana Verur Swanair Gopi Gopinath Sri Estunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sirade Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtadare Shadarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 12 and 13. So I will read text 12 and then we will do call and response for 13 and Srila Prabhupada's transcendental purport. And Kutumba Bharana Kalpo Manda Bhagya Vritho Yama Shriya Vihina Kripano Dhyayan Chavasiti Mudhade. Thus, the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failures, grieving deeply. Text 13. Evam swabarna kalpam Evam swabharna kalpam. Something else is there? Evam swabharna kalpam tad kalatradayastata nidrayante yatha purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabharna kalpam tat kalatradayastata nidrayante yatha purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabharna kalpam tat kalatradayastata nidrayante yatha purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Word for word. Evam, thus, swabharana, to maintain them, akalpam, unable, tat, his, kalatra, wife, adya, and so on, tatha, so, na, not, adriyante, do respect, yatha, as, purvam, before, kinasha, farmers, iva, like, gojaram, an old ox. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Was the verse there?
No, actually no. The note he just changed it. It's up now. We have it now.
Could we do it? Could you recite the verse? You go right ahead and recite. Evam swabharana kalpan kalatradayastata nridyante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram.
एवं सवर्णाकल्पं
Tatkalatradayastata
निद्रियन्ते यथा पूर्वं
nidrante yata purvam
किनाशा इव गोचरम्
kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabarna kalpam tatkalatradayastata adherante tata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabarna kalpam tatkalatradayastata nadriyante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabarna kalpam tatkalatradayastata nidrante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabarna kalpam kalatradayastata nidrante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Mataji. Evam swabarna kalpam tat kalatradayastata adriyante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam swabarna kalpam tatra kalatradayastata nadriyante yata purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam thus swabarana to maintain them akalpam unable tat his kalatra wife adya and so on tatha so na not adriyante do respect yatha as purvam before kinasha farmers eva like gojaram an old ox. Translation. Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before. Even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn-out oxen. Miserly farmers. So there are good ones also. Purport. Not only in the present age, but from time immemorial, no one has liked an old man who is unable to earn in the family. Even in the modern age, in some communities or states, the old men are given poison so that they will die as soon as possible. In some cannibalistic communities, the old grandfather is sportingly killed and a feast is held in which his body is eaten. The example is given that a farmer does not like an old bull who has ceased to work. Similarly, when an attached person in family life becomes old and is unable to earn, he is no longer liked by his wife, sons, and daughters, and other kinsmen. He is consequently neglected. What to speak of not being given respect? It is judicious, therefore, to give up family attachment, and before one attains old age, take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should employ himself in the Lord's service so that the Supreme Lord can take charge of him and he will not be neglected by his so-called kinsmen. It's really frightening. Old age, the reality of old age, the reality that of the material world. So, who has made it in such a way? Who has orchestrated such a unique situation? So expertly orchestrated by some other forces. Because somehow or the other, general public in the material civilization, they have a concept that no one is in charge. But from the viewpoint of Śrimad Bhāgavatam, the Amala Puran, the spotless Puran, it is giving this type of overview that we can somehow or the other understand that this material world is full of miseries. All different kinds of miseries. And it says that from birth, from the janam, from the birth, the mother is suffering so much pain to give birth to this child. And the child is seemingly unconscious, but with great insight of the Divya Drishti, the seers of the truth, they have concluded that that child is also suffering. That moment that in the childbirth, sometimes the child takes birth and he comes out, but he's not there. He cannot bear that pain. And the mother is bearing that pain. So much pain. And, it is said that for the little sense gratification that is awarded. And sometimes she feels that if she doesn't give birth to the child, or she doesn't have a child, her life is like useless. She doesn't feel comfortable. The woman doesn't feel comfortable. And such pain just to give birth to this child. And sometimes they never forgive their husband also. Because they would never dare to see the pain or to experience the pain that they are having when they are having this child. So from birth, this is a great suffering. And when the child is growing up, he is suffering there also. Because we doesn't understand totally what the child requires. I remember my first son, because I had the experience of family life. My first son, he would cry. He would cry so much. Oh my God. The only thing we had was to do was put him in the car and start driving. And when we start driving, somehow or the other, he would feel satisfied. He's going somewhere. Because the soul wants to go. He wants to go somewhere. He wants to feel comfortable that he's going somewhere. He can achieve something. So from my understanding is that he wanted to go somewhere. This is the world. Gachati, the Jagata. Jagata is the world is going on. So he couldn't bear to just come into the world. But that child is such a beautiful, soft and, not like me. So soft and so loving. My first son, and he was premature. So we see that we cannot communicate with them what they need, what they want. But parents are always trying to fulfill that needs. And if we don't fulfill that needs for the child, It is like inhumane. Absolutely inhumane. And if we see someone who is not giving those humane treatment and those loving, beautiful reciprocation with that child, we will say, wow, how heartless you are. Huh? And then the child would not develop. The child would not develop in a holistic way if the parents does not afford and reward and give him that type of social justice that he needs to grow. The parents have to give that with the hope that this child will be a credit to society, an offering to society, not a liability. And today, most of them, they are taken birth because they have never, because there was no Garbhadan samskar, there was no samskar performed, and inviting that special soul within the womb that this child would be an offering to the Lord. Even my pleasure for sexual encounter will be an offering to the Lord. No knowledge is there. Because no knowledge is there, so no action is there. If knowledge is there, then action will follow. The beautiful example that Harai was given recently is that if someone, you've been given some nice tea to drink, and someone tells you poison is there, immediately, and you are going to drink, immediately, that is the example to show that you have attained knowledge. When we have attained knowledge, action follows. We would immediately, that cup will be going down back on the table. You will not want to drink that. So, knowledge is power. We must receive this knowledge. And today's society, whole human society, doesn't have that type of knowledge and information. There is some type of little bit, some little knowledge is there. That you have to treat the mother so nice, exceptionally nice, and they would sing songs and poetries. And we see those type of things have effects on the children. If the father is a poet, he's a great scholar, or the mother is a musician or some type of so forth, we see those sanskars are somehow transferred to the child. And like last night, I was giving the example when the semen of Lord Shiva was transferred to Vayu, was given to the Saptarishis, and then in charge of Vayu, somehow the other Vayu influenced this semen, and it was given to Anjani, and Hanuman was born. It is an expansion of Lord Shiva. Hanuman is the expansion of Lord Shiva, but he characterized the power and the potency of Vayu, and Vayu was just simply the transfer medium to give it to Anjani. So when we see the subtle influences that is there on the child, we can understand how is important it is for the samskar, for one to perform the samskars, so this child would be awarded, the real, samskars. He would imbibe and we tried, and we are trying, and this great culture of Sanatana Dharma is the hope for humanity. And Srila Prabhupada has brought that for us and given us that. Not that when the beautiful girls, as I was saying in the last class, Srila Prabhupada saw that they were coming to join his mission, what he would do. And such a Senapati Bhakta, he facilitated them. There is nowhere in Vedic culture that women were given the Brahmin mantra, Brahmin initiation. He also gave that and made them. And then, you see, I saw one of my friends, industrialist, one day he was reading a book, how to make the workplace harmonious and develop it. And one of the thing is that simply employ one woman on the job and see how they would change. Speech will change, their actions will change, their dress code will change, their conduct will totally change by the appearance of one woman on the job. I say, what? I say, Srila Prabhupada, that's why he said this movement is Krishna. This is the desire of Krishna. And he's directly guided by Krishna. So he incorporated them. And in the ashram, all the Matajis were given a chance to serve. And that service was so beautiful that it created the wholeness of this movement. Srila Radhanath Swami was saying that the Srila Prabhupada, he married his disciples. They were so new. He now started a movement. Movement is just started and he got them married. Send them off to preach. Vedic culture, the great Vedic culture is there. So, how fortunate we are. How fortunate we are to come to this movement that is so total. So total. It's like the cream, it's like the essence, it's a conclusion, it's the sum total of the whole Vedic culture, given us by the most realistic person, Srila Prabhupada, who has the highest esteem and highest experience and highest understanding and total by living yad acharati shreshtas tat tat iveta rojana sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anubhardate. He is not demanding any one to follow. He's not commanding anyone to follow. Yet he is the commander and everyone is following by his examples. Acharyati shreshtas. Whatever example they set, the whole world pursues. And we see that, at least for me, every day I yearn to have his guidance. And everyone in this movement, every day is yearning, sincerely yearning to have his guidance. All his disciples, all his grand disciples, everyone that joined this movement is so focused on because he carries Krishna. He carries Krishna in his heart, and he can give Krishna to us. Krishna se tumara, Krishna dite paro, tumara sakati ache, amito kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dahitava pache pache. He has Krishna prapti hoy, we sing every morning. He has the prapti siddhi, asta siddhi navadidike data, he has more than that. He can give the prapti siddhi, he can give us Krishna prapti hoy. Yeah. Krishna prapti hoy, jaha hoite. Guru mukha padma vakya chitete karya kya. Ar na karye mane asa. And there is no other hope. No other hope. So, this verse sometimes, like the last one I read it, I got frightened. And it was this verse is a continuation of the previous verse. It was so, my class was so close to this one. So, there is a verse in the Śrimad Bhāgavatam say, Dvi charte rajan kutumba barayena ba. And this word here, kutumba, family, and barana mean to maintain. That's the verse before. Alkalpa, unable, manda bhagya. Manda bhagya, hi upadyuta. And there's a beautiful verse in the Śrimad Bhāgavatam that say that we are Kaleo. In this Kali Yuga, men manda bhagya, they are very unfortunate. We are very unfortunate. The whole circumstances is created for us to understand the unfortunate circumstances prevailing and generating and manifesting constantly coming about for us to realize our unfortunate situation in this world. And those who will become fortunate, the fortunate souls, they would offer themselves in devotion to the Supreme Lord. So, Vrita, in vain, Udhyama, whose efforts shriya, beauty, wealth, vihina, bereft of wealth, kripana, dhyayana, kripana, dhyayana, chavasi, mudhadi. Thus the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failure and grieving deeply. Grieving very deeply. Because there is so much failures in this material world. Everyone is failing time after time. And what are these failures coming for? There's a reason why these failures will come. Srila Prabhupada explained that just as happiness comes, so distress is coming. And no one is endeavoring for distress, but distress is coming. We only endeavoring for happiness. We all want happiness. We're looking for it constantly. So, this is the unfortunate circumstances that but it is fortune. But because of knowledge, we're thinking it is unfortunate. Huh? Like Srila Prabhupada, he wrote the beautiful prayers, and he said the beautiful prayers that when Krishna is especially merciful to someone, he gradually takes away all his material possession. And Krishna is known as the Chor Agraganyam. He is the Bhishana Chor. We have never seen Aneka Janma Jita Papa Choram. But he is thieving everything. He is stealing everything. Sri Radhika Hridayasya Choram Navam Buddha Shamal Kanti Choram Aneka Janma Jita Papa Choram Chora Graganyam Purusham Namami. I offer my respectful obeisances to that great thief. And it is said, Drishtova Maya Karapi. And I have never seen such a great thief. He steals everything, but he steals away our sins. Aneka Janma Jita Papa Choram. He can steal our sins. But Nevatmano Jita Papa Choram. He would steal away our name, our fame, our family members, our bank balance. He would steal all those things away. In the form of time, everything will be taken away. Everything will be stolen. But how could one see these things? How could one see these things? General public cannot see these things. Only the devotee, only with the divya drishti, only divya drishti. In the Śrimad Bhāgavatam, it is said, Chidyante sarva sankshaya, kshiyante chasya karmani, chidyante sarva sankshaya. Kshiyante, it cut the hard nut. Hridaya Granthi, the Hridaya Granthi Mahur, it cut the hard nut. What cuts the hard nut? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavata Utama Sloka, Bhaktir Bhavati, nice. Antara Rajas Tamo Bhava, at that time, Kamara, Loba, Yashay, all these goes down. Kama, Loba, Moha. The effects of the Kama, Krodha, Loba, Moha. It is said that in Śrimad Bhāgavatam, these are the part work that leads to hell. Kama, Krodha, Loba, Moha. Tasmarivam Trayam Tyajet. One must give it up. One must give up all these associated with the lower modes. Moha Jala, Samavrita, Prasakta Kama Bhogeshu. This is the main action, course of action. Kama Bhogeshu. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam, Tayaparita Chetasam, Vyavyasyatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. For one who is diverse in all the activities, worldly activities, his resolute determination, the resolute determination for devotion does not take place. Because he is diverse and he's in so much action, so much activities, not knowing that these are only carried out by the modes of material nature. And Moha Jala, the Jala, the network, Pasakta Kama Bhogeshu, he only proceeds to perform sense gratification, to look for sense gratification, to look for enjoyment. And this is the whole purpose of existence, to look for enjoyment. Utishtara jagrata prapya varang nibodhata. We must be inquisitive, but we must wake up and not inquire for sense gratification, but inquire into the absolute truth. And that is the purpose of a human form of life, to inquire into the absolute truth. Manusa janma yar, janma sartra kari kara para upakara. That the human form of life is meant for para upakara, making his life perfect. But we are so thankful to have millions of books out there. Millions of books, millions and millions of books are out there. So this Kali Yuga is blessed by Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas and the great Hare Krishna movement. This world, this Kali Yuga is blessed. Because when one is confronted with so much miseries glaring at him all the time, he becomes frustrated. He becomes frustrated. And when he becomes frustrated, he might find one of these books. The Lord will guide him, give him some guidance, find the devotees, find Ram Rai Prabhu out in the subway, underground in the hellish condition, and hear the mantra. You know, I was talking to one devotee on Sunday. He said when he was in the boys' it's a controlled environment, he used to hear the devotees passing regular. And he used to run out just to hear that song. He couldn't go outside, but just to hear it more clear. Who is that? What is that? Yeah. One person was hearing the song 1 2 3 1 2 3, and when she reached, she said the kirtan stopped. And devotees, she didn't know. She was attracted to it and just following that. So the devotee gave her a Bhagavad Gita. She didn't have money to pay for the Bhagavad Gita. These are all testimonies how souls can be saved. And she got the Bhagavad Gita, and she came later on to the temple, and she gave the $10 for the Bhagavad Gita, and she became a devotee. I heard one example of a gentleman who pushed a devotee off a train, and he took the Bhagavad Gita and he stamped his foot on it. Yeah? Stamp his foot on it. But he kept it. Somehow or the other, he kept it. And he went home and he put it on the table. The servant came. She said, oh my God, like some car has gone over this book. So she wiped it out and she put it in the shelf. And within the 5-year time, the daughter had cancer, died, the wife left him. This became so frustrated, and he was a big businessman, somewhere in France or Spain or somewhere like that. And when he somehow he got attracted to this book. He took it out and read it. When he read it, all he could do was cry and bow down and couldn't. Look what treasure I have found. And he was all dressed up in his nice jacket and tie. So he went to the temple. When he went to the temple, he was bowing down before he reached the temple. He was bowing down inside the temple. Every devotee is bowing down to them. And he was only looking for that person that he had offended. He's only looking. And he talked to the temple president. They think he has gone mad. Huh? Because sometimes people get mad. They're not knowing what is happening. There was a festival in another city. So he went there. And he saw the devotee. It was a Mataji. And he pushed out the train. She actually got damaged, She said, that's okay. At least you became a devotee. You see how Krishna will manifest in this world and how Krishna will save the souls. We just have to be there to give. And if we can give Krishna, their life will become perfect. And our life will become perfect. So, I was thinking about King Yayati. Yayati was a great king, and he wanted to enjoy nicely, materially, in sense gratification. And he exchanged, because to enjoy materially, you have to be young always. You have to be Navyovana. We need some Navyovana bodies in the material world. I don't know how someone could do some imports like that. We import them from the spirit, from the transcendental realm, Sachidananda Vigraha. This is what everybody wants. Whole material civilization, but they have no information what they really want, what they should get. They don't have the knowledge that the soul is Sachidananda Vigraha. They don't know that we are only assessing ourselves to get that. That's all we're doing, to get that. But we are doing it in the wrong way, in the wrong place, maybe in the wrong time. So, King Yayati, he transferred his old age to his son. He made an arrangement so he can continue to enjoy. So here we see, because when one is bereft of beauty and wealth, he becomes bewildered, but his family rejects him. So in our youth, we have good health and good beauty, good strength, good bodily strength, and so we run after sense gratification. But then what comes? Krishna has made it in such a beautiful way. Chatur Varnam Maya Shrishnam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. The 4 Varnas and the 4 ashram was created by me. Today there is only a semblance. People go to school, their brahmachari life. They learn all nothing, nonsense. And then they become grihameris. And then they divorce, which is their vanapras. And then when they get so old, they cannot function. They are forced to take sannyas, but they don't even know. This is the system. Krishna said, I have created it. The 4 varnas and the 4 ashram, and it exists. But it exists in the lower way, in the lower modes, not in the highest sense. In the real dharmic sense, in the real Vedic culture, where we perform, our duty, and we imbibe the divine qualities. Tapo divyam, putrakayena satvam, suyed brahma yasmad. Sukham tvanantyam. We want it, but we doesn't know. Tapo divyam. Divine austerities, putrakayena satvam, suyed brahma sukham. We want sukham. We need sukham. Sukhamita Ramani Samaj. We need that sukham, but it is like one drop in the desert. When you're in the desert and you're going up a big hill to find the oasis, obviously, is to find the oasis. You're looking, but you have to go up the big hills in the desert. Material world is like that. It's a constant prakriti stani karshati. Manahasasthan indriyani prakriti stani karshati. Struggling constantly. And in the desert, you need water. How much you need? 1 drop? You need a bucket? You need a whole supply where you can constantly have buckets after buckets? Yes. Obviously, we need that type of supply. But you doesn't get that in the desert. Desert is not like that. It's not, this material world is like a desert. Under Kupam is like a well without water, as we have heard. There's a nice verse, yeah? Tat sadhu manye surya varyadehinam sada samudvignadhiyam asat grahan kritvatma patam grihamandakupam. Yeah? Atma patam. Atma ghatam. Is there a place where the soul is being killed? Huh? Where there is no water in that well. Andakupam. Grihameram andakupam. And Srila Prabhupada used to always quote this verse. Sadasa mudna vigna dhyam asat graha. Because they have accepted asat graha, the temporary worldly life, to be the real thing. Huh? Because Prahlad Maharaj has been asked, what have you learned, my dear boy? Huh? His father. He said, my dear greatest of all, Asurya Varya Dehinam. Tat Saru Manye, my good reasoning. Tat Saru Manye, Asurya Varya Dehinam. Asurya, the best of all demons, those who have accepted the material body, senses and sense gratification as the all in all. He will be constantly samud vigna dhyam. He will be always agitated and perplexed and always in anxiety. The material world is like that. But somehow they're trying to pat you on your back. They're trying to tell you, oh, it's okay, that's okay. You take a little austerity, you're just growing old, everyone is growing old. That's okay. You have to learn how to accept the inevitable, and you can accept it little by little, and ultimately you will just die. But that is not their understanding. The real understanding is that the soul within the body wants to be free from that condition. That is the real understanding. He wants to be free. Just like a person in jail. He wants to come out of jail. He wants to be there in the public, in the general public where everybody is enjoying. But he's in jail, and his only business is to come out of jail. And it is said that the soul is in his body. There's one song we used to sing, that it's not coming right now, but it's said that it's like a bird within the cage. It's like a bird within the cage. And people are thinking the bird is singing so sweetly and nicely there, and you should explain how much you want to them. That is not good. They said that bird is singing so nicely. You're thinking he's singing nicely. Similarly, we're thinking we are enjoying. We are in illusion. Thinking that we are enjoying. Yan mai tunari grihameri sukkam hitucham karnena karayo eva dukkha dukkam. Srila Prabhupada quoted it so many times. Karnena karayo eva dukkha dukkam yan mai tunari. For little sense gratification, we're running here, running there, and we are totally engrossed, thinking we are enjoying. But that enjoyment is like that one drop of water in the desert. One drop of water in the desert. How much we need, we sing the song Chapala Sukha. Chapala Sukha Lagalagire. It's like the whole existence is like this Chapala Sukha. How does the song start? Chapala Sukha Laga. Bajahuri mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindude Durlabha Manava Janama Sat Sange Tarawe Baba Sindure Tarawe Baba Arahe Tarawe Baba Sindure. The Sindhu, the ocean of birth and death. Janma Mritu Jara Vyari Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. This is the purpose of the human life. Durlabha Manava Janama Sat Sange. But the satsang. Yeah, we have accepted the asat. Those who have accepted the asat griha. Asat griha. Kritvatma patam. Where there is no water in that well. Grihamanda kupam. Vanam gato yat. Prabhu, vanam gato yat. Harimashvayet. Harimashvayet. And that Vanam, Vrindavan. Vrindavanadam, 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 Jayo Vrindavanadam, Vrindavanadam, Jayo Vrindavanadam. So we must go to that Vrindavan. Panchasa Urdvam. Panchasa Urdvam, Vanam Vrindavana Gata. Panchas Urdram Vrindavana Gata. When one reach the Panchas, the 50 years old, he must go to Vrindavan. He must go and get Vrindavan. And if one gets Vrindavan, then the Atma, Drishta, Evatmani, Ishwari, he would see the soul. He would see, reciprocate with the Supreme Lord in the form of Atma, soul, Drishta, Evatmani, Ishwari. Drishta. Drishti. He would see, and he would, while he is growing in his life, he would see that Krishna has a hand in my life. And more we put our life in Krishna's hand, is more we see Krishna is in our life. When we see reverses in our lives, we see the reverses in our lives. We see the difficulties. Tate nukampam shushamikshmano bunjanai vatma kritam vipakam hidvag Vapubi Vradan Namaste Jevitayo Mukti Paresa. It is his rightful claim. It will become his rightful claim. But he must bear the miseries and the anxieties. Like even Queen Kunti was saying that so much miseries, so much anxieties, my Lord, you have given. And she looking back, we need to grace my Lord, the Lord. We need to take the benediction of the Lord. Lord, you have protected us in so many circumstances. You have protected us from the house of fire lack. Yeah? He has protected us from the man-eating demon. He have protected us from the poison. You have even protected Draupadi from the Asatsabha, men who has been, have lost their intelligence has been stolen, and they couldn't function. You protected us from that. So when in our lives we look back and we connect the dots and we see the difficulties that we were encountering and we surrender to the Lord, we surrendering and surrendering more and more, giving our lives. Every opportunity we get, we can surrender to the Lord. We can give our lives as an offering to the Lord. It's a beautiful practice to constantly offer yourself to the Lord. Very beautiful practice, Whatever we are doing, we are worshiping the deity. Lord, I offer myself to you because, I am so insignificant, I am so unqualified, I have no good qualities. I have no jogata vichare kichu nahi pai. I have no good qualities if you look inside me, Gurudev. Jogata vichare kichu nahi pai. Tumara. What is it? Jogata vichare kichu nahi pai. Nothing, kichi, nothing is there. Nothing kichu nahi pai. And I am bereft. Amito Kanga. I am running after you crying. That's the other one saying that. But Kandiya, I am crying. And I cannot maintain my soul, Gurudev. I want to, and the line before says, Koro Mora Atmasata, make me like you, give me Chaya Bega Domi, Chaya Dosha Shodi, Chaya Guna Deho Dase, Chaya Satasanga, Deho He Amare, Bosiche Sangera Ase. Give me the divine qualities, Gurudev, give me the divine qualities. And we offer our lives like that, begging for that hope that we can offer ourselves, and He can give us, purify us, and from our faults. So offering ourselves constantly, looking back in our lives and see how we can connect the dots and all the reverses, in all that condition, we simply, because there would be reverses. Everyone has having that experience. Everyone will have that experience. And we can look back and we can connect those dots and we can be thankful. We can be grateful. And we can be grateful constantly for everything that we have. And more we are grateful and more we are thankful, is more we will be purified. And more we will be humble. Because a grateful soul, a grateful heart, is never really angry and proud. It doesn't work. You have to be, if you want to be grateful, you want to be thankful for what you have gotten. So, Yaravidi Nama Cheta Krishna Pararvinde Nava Nava Rasya Dhamne Rantumasit. So, while performing bhakti devotional service, Nava Nava Rasya Dhamne Udyante Masit. And Tara Avari Batanari Sangame Smaryamane. When I think of a woman and sex life, that I spit at it. I think of this because it's connected, so much connected, that when the thought will come, how the thought will come, the thought is there, it will come, these pictures will come, they will play back themselves. Because lifetime after lifetime we have been engaging in these activities. So somehow it will come back. And when we think of it, we can spit at the thought. We can despise the thought. We can despise that thought. So because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, wherever and whenever the mind may wander, bring it back under the control of itself. Not that the mind would not wander. And Arjuna told to Krishna, Vayu eva sudushkaram, chanchalam hi mana Krishna, pramati bhalvat dridam, tasyaham nigraham mane vayu eva sudushkaram. It is easier to control the wind than to control the mind. And Krishna told to Arjuna, Abhyasena tu kauntera, vairagena cha grihate. Abhyas, Arjuna, abhyas, practice. By practice. And Srila Prabhupada said, by practice, even a fool can learn. By practice, even a fool can learn. Mahabahu, he said, oh Arjuna, oh great one, Arjuna, you are so great, you are so good, but you must practice. By practice, you can gain that, that beautiful understanding, that endurance. So, even though we will be despised by our family members when we grow old, and we may be in a situation like that, if we inculcate the divine blessings and we train our lives, there is hope. Huh? Vanam gato harim ashrayet. Vanam Vrindavana gata harim ashrayet. Go to Vrindavan and take shelter of Hari. And Srila Prabhupada has brought Vrindavan here, little bubbles of Vaikuntha, Vrindavan everywhere in the material world. And he has brought them here. Oh my God, time has gone. Yeah. So those who have taken shelter of the Lord, etan gunan atityatrin dehi deha samudvavam janma mrityu jara dukair vimukto amritam asnute. They can get the amritam, the amritaiva. He has one verse that is from Brihad Aranya Upanishad that says, Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgama Mrityurma Amritam Gamaye. Amritam. We want to be immortal. We need that immortality. We need that amritam, that nectar in this life, right? And Srila Prabhupada said we can enjoy it now. Is there any question? The microphone, give it to our senior brahmachari, Ramari Prabhu. He wants a life.
She's still alive, a very famous lead singer from one of the psychedelic rock bands in San Francisco. Malati Prabhu told me that you know. All right. Grace Slick, the lead singer of the Jefferson Airplane. She said, as she got older and older, she just like, that's it, I'm not going to do this anymore, because these are the songs we're singing and everything is about when we're young, and it just looks ridiculous for somebody over the age of 50 to be. So what I'm saying was that young people should be seen, but not heard. Whereas old people should not be seen, but they should be heard.
Hari.
It's very nice, but of course that's lacking Krishna consciousness, which is actually completely the opposite of this verse. That Prabhupada writes a statement that the so-called old age and disease of a devotee, that a devotee may go through, is simply an encouragement for the devotee to understand that he is entering into his eternal, youthful, blissful life of transcendental knowledge. And we see the greatest example of Srila Prabhupada seemingly coming to us at the age of 70, and by the time he's 10 years that he's manifesting ISKCON, 10, 11 years, he's 80, 81 years old, but he was just so attractive. In the words of like Shama Sundar or so many devotees, Prabhupada was just simply irresistible. So this verse doesn't apply to sincere devotees who have been practicing throughout their whole life. So sometimes they make like movies or novels. You know, somebody's born like an old man, and they get younger as he gets older until they pass away or something. But whatever they're thinking, it's ultimately based on the reality that Krishna, he's saving his pure devotee from the ocean of birth and death, and that's happening as we go through the process of from birth to youth to changing bodies. We're actually becoming younger and more youthful.
Yeah.
So there's no loss of diminution, and we don't have to fear that our bodies are going to be roasted in a big feast. And for today's Sunday feast, we have
Ramari Prabhu is so, such an avadut. There's two avaduts in the movement I heard, and one is Ramari Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Is there any other question?
The second one?
That was a comment. Oh, I don't remember, but you inquire here from the devotees and you will hear who is the other Avadut. And they could have more coming. The numbers are still available, 3, 4, 5. We, the movement have very long to go. Is Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sri Govinda Dev Gaurnitai, Sri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
His Grace Sitaram.
I know you're waiting for that part, you know.